world changers. I won't speak too much because you don't want to hear my husband's story too. It's my story. But one thing I just want to say is that I just love this business. I love For Life. I love the people in it. 15 years has been an amazing ride. So I just want to encourage you, if you're new or if you've been in a while, just keep coming back. It's awesome. Without further ado, I'm going to introduce my husband, who actually he started in this company with a lot of obstacles in his way. But you know what? He had a dream, and his dream was to touch and change lives. And he first started with his family, myself and my children. And that moved me because I just was so thankful to him. So I just want to thank him, and I want to introduce my husband, Platinum International Diamond.
Of your life story. Turn to your neighbor and say, I'm the author. Nobody else is writing the story of my life but me. Alright, I was able to rewrite the story of my life through For Life Research by saying yes to becoming an independent distributor with For Life Research. And what would have been a horrible, horrible story turned into a wonderful story. Turned into a story of success and abundance, but it didn't start out that way. How many of you know that your circumstances don't matter? What matters is your dream? How many of you know that? We know that. That the dream is the currency of what we do. It's what makes us tick. It's who we are. And that's a gift that we have to give to the world. Because there are a lot of people out there, and it doesn't matter the income level, whether they make a little money or a lot of money, who are stuck and they don't have a dream. So in that sense, we have a mission to go out and talk to people and encourage them to dust off their dreams and to try again. A lot of you, I think, know some of my story. I started mi historia. Oh, I was so encouraged by your positive feedback. I was so encouraged by their positive feedback.
Estaba tan entusiasmado por las recomendaciones que usted me han dado para atrás en cuanto a mi historia.
That I didn't think that the language mattered. And there's a lesson for you.
Y acá hay una lección para ustedes.
If the language doesn't matter.
Que el lenguaje no importa.
Yeah. Listen to me. A lot of people, we've created this conversation.
Hemos creado esta conversación.
As Herminio mentioned, we've created this conversation where the English market is different.
Como Herminio lo mencionó, a veces pensamos que el mercado inglés es diferente.
And this conversation of this massive cultural difference,
y esta conversación de la cultura masiva diferente,
that we think revolves around language,
que pensamos que se revuelve alrededor del lenguaje,
can be intimidating for us as distributors.
Puede ser intimidante para nosotros como distribuidores.
Listen, that ends now.
Eso tiene que terminar.
Is broke at a low income level, at a high income level.
El que está en bancarrota es lo mismo que está acá o arriba.
At a low education level, at a high education level.
No importa la educación baja o educación alta.
Broke is broke.
El estar en bancarrota es lo mismo.
And it doesn't matter if you called somebody 2 years ago or 3 years ago or 5 years ago.
Y no importa si lo llama 10, 3 o 5 años antes.
They're probably still broke.
Todavía siguen en bancarrota.
And so our job is to go out there and reactivate their dream.
Así que nuestro trabajo es ir allá afuera y reactivar su sueño.
And to show them there is a better way.
y mostrarles que hay un nuevo camino diferente.
It's very hard for me to stay in one place.
Es muy difícil para mí mantenerme en un solo lugar.
So you gotta kind of follow me around, okay? Keep me away from the stage, okay? If you know my story. Listen, obstacles don't matter.
Los obstáculos no importan.
How good you are, where you are with your presentation or your skills don't matter.
Lo bueno que tú estés con tu presentación o tus habilidades no importa.
What matters is, have you clarified,
Lo importante es cómo tú clarificas,
have you crystallized
cómo tú cristalizas
that picture of your future?
el cuadro, la imagen de tu futuro.
Is it emotionally charged?
Esto es una cosa de cargarnos emocionalmente.
Where when people hear you,
Que cuando las personas te escuchen,
they get an emotional charge.
observan de ti la energía emocional.
It's electric.
Es eléctrico,
Nothing to do with facts,
no tiene que ver con hechos,
and especially nothing to do with product
no
information.
tiene que ver con la información del producto.
What's contagious is you being excited.
Lo que va a tomar
Listen, I started my business at the worst possible time of my life.
Yo empecé este negocio en el lugar peor de mi vida.
I was down on myself,
Estaba bajo emocionalmente,
I was depressed,
estaba deprimido
and I was very physically ill.
y estaba físicamente muy mal.
Doctor told me you got a year or two maybe if you don't get a liver transplant.
El doctor me dijo, tienes 1 o 2 años a menos que obtengas una transformación de hígado.
He said, Ray, I'm going to be honest with you, I don't know how you're going to do this.
Y si tú no haces esto, no sé cómo tú vas a hacer esto.
It takes a long time,
Toma mucho tiempo
and you're very overweight.
y estás muy enfermo.
He said they usually won't touch you
Por lo general no te van a tocar
at the weight you're at.
a la forma en que tú te encuentras.
And I came home and I was down.
Y cuando regresé a la casa estaba deprimido,
Depressed,
en bajo,
lonely,
solo
and very afraid.
y con mucho miedo.
That's when I got the call about For Life.
Así que en ese momento me llamaron de por
And I was
la...
praying to God, God, let me live. I have 3 small children at home. I can't die now.
Yo le estaba orando a Dios y le decía, tengo hijos en la casa, no puedo hacer esto por mi cuenta.
Let me live.
Déjame vivir.
And the answer back to my prayer was, keep the promises you made.
Y la respuesta vino a mí y que pudiera yo mantener mi promesa.
I had made a promise to my family to be a good provider.
Le hice una promesa a mi familia de ser un buen proveedor.
It was a deep down desire I had
Era un deseo muy adentro que yo tenía,
to provide for them a better life than I had growing up.
proveerles una vida mejor que la que yo había obtenido.
You share that core value, right?
Y yo sé que ustedes comparten ese
Everyone
momento.
does.
Todo el mundo quiere algo mejor para los
Everyone
suyos.
wants to take care of the people they love in their lives.
Todos quieren atender a las personas que aman en su vida.
So when I was approached with For Life,
Así que cuando me abordaron en cuanto a For Life,
based on that,
basado en eso,
and also based on the fact that someday I wanted to be a person of significance.
y también basado en el hecho que algún día yo quería ser una persona
I
con
wanted,
significado.
I wanted to be successful.
Yo quería tener éxito.
I wanted to build a life
Yo quería marcar una vida
to achieve something.
de alcanzar algo mayor que yo.
But I was a bit of a procrastinator.
Pero siempre procrastinaba las cosas.
And it was always, I'm going to do better next time.
Y siempre decía, no, lo voy a hacer mejor la próxima vez.
Tomorrow.
Mañana.
Next meeting.
La próxima semana.
Next time I'll do better.
La próxima vez lo haré.
And I was someday Ray.
Y alguna vez yo entonces leí,
Someday I'm going to pay the price.
algún día voy a pagar el precio.
Someday I'm going to do this work on the personal growth.
Alguna vez voy a trabajar en el crecimiento
Someday
personal.
I'm going to go through the valley
Alguna vez voy a atravesar el valle
of the pain of growing and changing.
del proceso de crecer y el dolor.
Someday.
Algún día.
But what happened is my someday became today.
Pero lo que pasó fue que algún día se convirtió en el día presente
And it created a sense of urgency for me.
y creó un sentido de urgencia en mí.
Urgency,
Urgencia
when combined with passion
combinada con pasión
in your business,
en tu negocio
can create a rocket ship for you
puede crear un cohete que te lance hacia
to
arriba.
your own financial independence. Every circumstance in your life,
Cada circunstancia en tu vida,
in fact, every negative thought you have,
en verdad cada hecho negativo que te pasa,
anything out there
cualquier cosa allá afuera
that you blame
que tú le echas la
or
culpa,
you even think or verbalize,
o que piensas o verbalizas,
takes the power away from you.
te quita el poder a ti.
When you blame someone or something else,
Cuando tú le echas la culpa a otra cosa,
you give up your power to change.
estás dando tu poder de cambiar.
So based on the fuel of this urgency,
Así que basado en esta combustible de urgencia,
I went to work in For Life.
empecé a trabajar en For Life.
And here's a secret, and some of you know this.
Y aquí hay un secreto y algunos de ustedes lo han notado.
If you will learn to employ yourself,
Si tú aprendes cómo emplearte a ti mismo,
and if you will learn to take the 5, 10, 15 hours
y si tú aprendes a tomar 5 a 10 horas, 15 horas,
and be consistent
y seguir con persistencia,
and talk to people
y hablar a las personas,
and talk to people
y hablar a las
and
personas,
talk to people
y hablar a las
and
personas,
talk to people
y hablar a las
and talk to people and talk to people and talk to people, because that is what we do.
porque eso es lo que nosotros hacemos.
And when we talk about that 10 hours a week, that's what we're talking about.
Y cuando hablamos del poder, de eso es lo que estamos
And what
hablando.
happens is, as you apply yourself
Así que cuando te aplicas a ti mismo
and you employ yourself
y te empleas a ti mismo
and you put this system kind of against yourself,
y tú pones este sistema en contra de ti,
where you're judging yourself
donde tú te estás juzgando
by processing through the system,
a través de procesarte a través de un sistema,
you will develop skills.
vas a desarrollar habilidades.
In the beginning, it's very hard because you don't have skills.
Y es muy al principio difícil porque no tienes habilidades.
And it's easy to have a tendency to believe that the business is about having some great personality.
Y es fácil creer que el negocio es de tener una gran personalidad.
Believe me, I don't think I have a great personality,
Yo no tenía ninguna personalidad,
but I consider myself a professional network.
pero me considero como un profesional de redes.
I sat where you're sitting
Porque yo me senté donde ustedes estaban sentados
and heard speaker after speaker
y escuché a oradores
and
tras oradores
changed life after changed life after changed
y
life.
cambiar vidas a través de otras vidas y otra vez y cambiar vidas,
And it became so contagious for me
y se convirtió en algo tan contagioso para mí
that I changed.
que yo cambié.
But I changed on the inside before anybody could see it on the outside.
Pero cambié primero en mi adentro antes de que otros pudieran verlo afuera.
And the secret is, if you hang in there
Y la cuestión es que si tú te mantienes ahí
and watch that self-talk
y sigues a través de ese proceso,
and learn, because that's really what the system is.
porque de eso es lo que el sistema se trata,
To teach you a new way of thinking
de enseñarte una forma nueva de
and
pensar,
a new way of acting
y una nueva forma de actuar,
and a new way of relating to people
y una nueva forma de relacionarte con las
that is
personas,
contagious for
que
those
sea
people
contagioso,
who don't have their dream acting.
que no tienen sus sueños activos.
And we need you to do this.
Y necesitamos a ustedes para que lo hagan.
Somebody's waiting for you.
Alguien está esperando por ti.
So you're writing the story of your life right now tonight.
Así que tú estás escribiendo la historia de tu vida esta noche.
You are the author. What page are you on?
¿En qué página tú estás?
Page 5,
¿En la página 5?
17th chapter?
¿En el 7º capítulo?
It doesn't matter,
No importa,
because there's no ending to the book.
porque no hay una terminación para el libro.
Because you will get better and better.
Porque te harás mejor y mejor.
You will grow more and more.
Crecerás más y crecerás más.
And the more God gives you,
Y lo que eso te
the
demuestra,
more He says, lay it down if you want to go to the next level.
te dice, póngalo acá si quieres ir al otro nivel.
There's a famous book
Hay una cosa en este libro,
by Marshall Goldsmith,
por Marshall Johnson, un escritor.
and it's called What Got You Here Won't Get You There.
Lo que te trajo acá no te llevará allá.
And this book was very challenging to me,
Y es una cosa que te pone a pensar y retarte.
because whether we're diamonds in the company,
Porque sea que tengamos diamantes en la compañía,
international diamonds,
diamantes internacionales
or platinums,
o platinos,
we have to challenge ourselves.
tenemos que retarnos a nosotros mismos.
So let me back up. Let me finish my story real quick for those people who are new.
Así que déjeme terminar mi historia rápidamente para aquellos que son nuevos.
Working my for-life business helped me forget about my horrible personal situation.
Cuando empecé a trabajar en For Life no me hizo olvidar de mi situación horrible personalmente.
So, and they told me, don't talk to a few people, talk to a lot of people.
Así que a mí me dijeron, no hables a unas pocas personas, habla con muchas.
They told me, Ray, all-out massive action is the key to your success.
La acción masiva es la clave para tu éxito.
And when you apply that urgency, that sense of urgency,
Y cuando tú aplicas ese sentido de urgencia,
where you have a date on that goal,
cuando tienes una fecha para esa meta,
I'm going to make diamond by this date.
yo voy a ser diamante para
I'm
este
going to
día,
make presidential by this
yo
date.
voy a ser presidencial para
I'm going
este
to make
día,
international by this date.
yo voy a ser internacional
I'm
para
going to
este
make
día,
gold by this
yo
date.
voy a hacer oro para este
I'm going to
día,
make platinum by this date.
yo voy a hacer platino para este día,
And your sponsor will work with you
y tu auspiciador trabajará contigo.
on how realistic those dates are. How realistic those dates are.
Cuán realísticamente son esas fechas.
But when you have the date on it, it will create urgency.
Pero cuando tú pones una fecha, eso crea urgencia.
Now, my goal was
Así que mi meta era
to build $100,000 a year,
hacer $100,000 al año
passive income,
de ingreso pasivo
in 1 or 2 years.
en 1 a 2 años.
Because that's what I thought I had left if I didn't get a transplant.
Porque eso es lo que pensé que tenía si no tenía el trasplante de hígado.
So I worked hard.
Así que trabajé fuerte.
And I wasn't worried and reevaluating. I was just running it by people quick
Así que yo estaba corriendo a través de la gente
and looking for the people who had a receptive ear.
y buscando a aquellas personas que tenían una mente receptiva.
And it grew.
Y aquello creció.
If you grow and you show up, your business will grow.
Si tú creces, el negocio crecerá.
That's the law.
Esa es la ley.
That's the truth.
Esa es la verdad.
If you show up and grow,
Si tú te muestras allá afuera y
your
creces,
business will grow
tu negocio crecerá.
because you will grow.
Porque tú estás creciendo.
So we started working, the business took off.
Así que empecé a trabajar y el negocio arrancó.
By God's grace and mercy, I got a liver transplant, no 3.
Por la misericordia de Dios obtuve un trasplante de hígado gratis.
In 2004, we would have been the first platinum international diamond.
Y en el 2004 estaba haciéndome en platino internacional.
Now I want to move along here. I want to move along here. With the urgency of the date on your goal.
Pon la fecha a tu meta,
Whether it's diamond by this date,
ya sea diamante para este
there's got to
día.
be urgency in getting to diamond.
Tiene que haber urgencia de llegar a diamante.
Urgency with getting to diamond.
Urgencia para llegar a diamante.
So we work the business hard.
Así que trabajamos el negocio
And,
fuerte.
and I hope you're not dying, but I was dying. So there
Espero
was
que ustedes
a,
no se estén muriendo, pero sí yo me estaba muriendo.
so
literalmente.
there was a built-in urgency.
Así que tenía una urgencia fuerte.
And the business started to grow.
Y el negocio empezó a crecer.
But what happened was,
Pero lo que pasó fue,
after I got my transplant,
después que conseguí mi trasplante,
I was so used to being afraid.
estaba tan ya compuesto a sentirme con miedo.
And my vision for my network marketing business
Y mi visión para mi negocio de red de mercadeo
was based on a dollar amount.
estaba basada en una cantidad fija de dinero.
Now, we far surpassed the dollar amount. We far surpassed the dollar amount.
Pero nosotros pasamos en el negocio mucho más arriba del dinero que yo había puesto,
That was our goal.
que era mi meta.
What happened was, once I started to get better,
Así que cuando las cosas empezaron a mejorar,
I had to set a new goal.
tuve que poner otra meta.
So here I was, this miracle God let me live,
Así aquí estaba yo, un milagro de Dios que me dejó vivir.
making a crazy amount of money.
Me hizo una gran cantidad loca de dinero
And I was home,
y estaba en la casa
kind of thinking about the next thing I was going to do in life.
contemplando de la próxima cosa que yo iba a hacer en la vida.
And I was also recovering from a horrible situation.
También me estaba recuperando de una situación horrible.
And so I got a call and I got invited to a meeting
Así que me llamaron, me invitaron a una reunión
in Puerto Rico.
en Puerto Rico.
And we were down there, and it was the dinner on the Friday night before the meeting.
Estábamos ahí y era la noche de la cena antes de la reunión.
And a gentleman came up and grabbed me by the shoulder like this.
Y un caballero vino y me tomó en el hombro así.
And he had a tear coming down his eye.
Tenía una lágrima saliendo de sus ojos.
And he said, "You touched my life."
Y me dijo, me has tocado la vida.
And I was moving around, shaking hands,
Y yo
and
estaba moviéndome,
I was
dando la
accustomed to
mano.
that. Not real comfortable with it, but accustomed to moving and shaking a lot of hands.
Ya estaba un poquito más cómodo moverme y dar la mano.
And when I went to turn away,
Y cuando me alejé,
he grabbed me like this and turned me towards him.
me agarró así, me volvió hacia mí
And he said, "Hold on."
y me dijo, espérate.
And he brought somebody over to translate.
Y trajo a alguien para que tradujera.
And he said, his name was Randy Meurer.
Su nombre era Rani Meurer.
And he said, Ray, I was going to quit the business.
Yo iba a rajarme del negocio.
He said, I had one leg that kind of went down,
Tenía una línea en el negocio que se apagó
and I was devastated.
y estuve devastado.
And I called Herminio and I said, I quit.
Y llamé al doctor Herminio Nevares y le dije, me rajo.
And Herminio said, fine, you can quit,
Y Herminio le dijo, sí, está bien, te puedes ir,
but you come to convention first.
pero ven a la convención primero.
And he said, Ray, when I heard your story at convention,
Rey, cuando yo escuché tu historia en la convención,
I made a decision that I wasn't going to quit, I was going to try again.
hice una decisión de no irme del negocio.
And he said, by this time he's got tears coming down both eyes, and he said,
En este momento ya las lágrimas estaban saliendo de los dos ojos y
I
dijo,
just want you to know,
yo solo quiero que sepas,
I'll qualify for gold
calificaré para oro
either this month or next month.
este mes o el próximo mes.
And we hugged each other,
Y nos dimos un abrazo
and now I had a tear coming down my
y yo
eye.
también estaba llorando
And it was a great meeting.
y fue una gran reunión.
And I went home. We got to move a little bit here. Is that okay? All right, keep going. I know I'm hard to follow. So I was sitting home.
Así que estaba sentado en la casa,
I had all the money coming in. I had the dream of network marketing.
todo el dinero estaba entrando, tenía el sueño de red de mercadeo
But
ya,
my life wasn't fulfilled.
pero mi vida no estaba llena, no estaba
I know
completa.
now why it wasn't fulfilled.
Yo sé ahora por qué no estaba satisfecho,
Because I wasn't pouring out my life for others.
porque no estaba derramando mi vida para otros.
I was trying to hold on to it for me. See, I was trying to find my safe place
Estaba tratando de buscar mi lugar
and
seguro
tell the world, you can't touch me now.
y decirle al mundo, no me puedes tocar ahora.
But that's not what life is about.
Pero la vida no se trata de eso.
And what got me there
Y lo que me logró llegar ahí
wasn't going to get me here.
no era lo que me iba a lograr llegar allá.
So I started thinking about what Rennie had said.
Y empecé a pensar sobre lo que Rani Marrero dijo.
And I said to myself,
Y me dije a mí mismo,
you know, you're all wrapped up in your own life here.
tú estás abrazado en tu propia vida.
And I prayed to God.
Y oré a Dios,
I said, what was that about?
¿qué hay de malo en esto?
And God said to me, Ray, you're thick. You're really, it takes you a while.
Y Dios me dijo, Rey, te va a tomar mucho.
And I said, what do you mean?
Y le dije, ¿qué significa eso?
And he said, you have an incredible story,
Tú tienes una historia increíble.
and I didn't give you this story
Y no te di esta historia
to sit in your cocoon
para sentarte en tu hogar
and hide.
y esconderte.
He said, I gave you this story to share with the world.
Te di esta historia para que la compartas con el mundo.
So that's the power of what Herminio talked about, of transference.
Ese es el poder del que el doctor Herminio habla de transferirte.
That's the power of a story.
Ese es el poder de la historia.
And you need to be able to tell your own story with passion
Y tienes que poder decir tu historia con pasión
and conviction.
y convicción.
Even if you are not there yet,
Aunque todavía no haya llegado ahí.
if you can't make them believe it,
Si puedes hacer que ellos te crean,
how are you going to believe it?
¿cuánto tú te la vas a creer?
Today, we have an extraordinary opportunity in For Life.
Hoy día tienes una oportunidad tremenda en For Life.
I've always said we have a company with incredible fundamentals.
Yo siempre he dicho que tenemos una compañía con tremendos fundamentos.
There is just nothing else that stands up to For Life in the business fundamentals.
No hay nada que se pare ante For Life en lo fundamental de lo que es el negocio.
We have the INT educational system.
Tenemos el sistema educativo de la INT.
Listen, one of the things with this English market that you need to understand,
Algo que tienes que entender de este mercado inglés,
you need to understand this.
tienes que entender esto.
A lot of people in the English market
Muchas de las personas en el mercado inglés
never had this.
nunca han tenido esto.
This special relationship to the leaders.
Esta relación especial con los
This
líderes.
leading from an area of servanthood,
Esta cosa de llevar la delantera a través del servicio,
giving up their time and lives,
dando su tiempo de su vida.
and not teaching some gimmick,
Y no estar mostrando alguna
some way
mentira,
like a system for blackjack or something to win at network marketing.
algún negocio de la suerte de lotería para ganar la red de
And there
mercadeo.
are thousands, tens of thousands of people in the U.S. market
Y hay miles de personas en el mercado
who have
americano
never heard the right way to do this
que no
business.
han escuchado la forma correcta cómo hacer este negocio.
And we have to go tell them.
Y tenemos que ir y mostrarse.
I have prayed for years
Yo he orado por muchos años
for us to be able to get the English-speaking American market here,
para que podamos llegar al mercado inglés
to
americano,
feel the energy of these meetings.
que puedan sentir la energía de estas reuniones.
Because when you come here, you can't explain that to somebody.
Porque cuando tú vienes acá, tú no puedes explicar esto a otra persona.
And now's the time.
Y ahora es el momento.
Now is the time.
Ahora es el tiempo.
Now's the time to go big. If we're going to $1 billion, and trust me, we're going to $1 billion.
Vamos a llegar
There's no if. There's no if.
No hay duda.
Okay? We have got to go after this market.
La cuestión es que también tenemos que ir atrás de este mercado
So let's
americano.
wipe out the conversation
Así que borremos esta conversación
of anything being different.
de alguna cosa que sea diferente.
Okay, broke is broke in any
Estar
language.
sin dinero, el estar en bancarrota es lo mismo en
Okay?
cualquier lenguaje.
And let's go talk to them.
Y vamos allá afuera y hablemosles.
All right? I am INT family.
Yo soy parte de la familia
And everybody's coming along because what works,
porque las cosas están viniendo porque lo que
What
trabaja,
works?
lo que trabaja,
not the theory,
no es la teoría,
not fancy talking,
no hablar en español,
not, some marketing system or whatever.
no cualquier mercado empresarial, sistema de mercadear
When
las
it
cosas.
works,
Lo que trabaja
and it can be demonstrated and proven
y lo puedes demostrar y probarlo
by changed lives,
y cambiar vidas,
people will follow.
las personas te van a seguir.
People will follow. There was a time when I was not a networker, I was a telemarketer.
Cuando yo no era un desarrollador de red de mercadeo, era una persona que hacía
That's
red de
what I
mercadeo.
thought networking was.
Y eso es lo que yo pensaba que era red de mercadeo.
And even when I got in For Life,
Y aun cuando entré a For Life,
I made so many mistakes.
hice tantos errores
I didn't understand the system.
y yo no podía entender el
I
sistema.
thought the product would do it by itself.
Yo pensaba que el producto lo iba a hacer por sí solo,
But I've watched you all.
pero seguía a usted.
I've watched people come up through the ranks,
Miré a las personas alcanzar los rangos,
where they started,
dónde empezaron,
and then the person a couple of years later.
y la persona un par de años después.
And I have been amazed.
Y he quedado maravillado.
And it has won me over and wanted to be a part of it.
Y yo quería ser parte de eso.
So we need to start going and talking to the English-speaking market.
Así que tenemos que salir allá afuera y hablar
If
en
you
mercado
don't,
mexicano.
listen, if you don't know any English at all, if you don't know any English at all,
Si no sabes inglés,
have somebody write on a little piece of paper,
haz que alguien te escriba en un papelito.
do you know anybody that wants to make a lot of money and be free? And just go up to them and just say,